Get ready for the real Mandela effect when movies are going to be edited and CGI is going to be used in place of culturally inappropriate content. This is all about canceling culture.
Amazon has extended its portfolio, buying Hollywood studio MGM in an $8.4 billion deal. MGM, the company responsible for the James Bond and Rocky franchises, was approached by Amazon, Apple and Comcast after it put itself up for sale in December. The studio has a library of 4,000 film titles and 17,000 hours of TV programming, including Gone with the Wind, The Hobbit and The Handmaid's Tale. The deal will see the battle for global streaming ramp up, positioning Amazon alongside Disney Plus and Netflix. Let's go to Evan Lucas, the chief market strategist at InvestSmart. Hey, what do you make of that deal? It just goes to show that Amazon moving from strength to strength, buying up all kinds of business.
Keep in mind, Disney works with the military-industrial complex.
This is willy-nilly, Evan.
Shows how strong they want to go with Amazon Prime. So it's all about content, as you just alluded to in your story. So content is king. We know that someone like Netflix spends just over about $15 billion every half to generate content. So if content and quality content, let's be honest, MGM is quality content from the history numbers, is absolutely king. Amazon Prime is slowly but surely starting to build up its library. The release of particularly Disney Plus has been a big boost to that whole industry, but it also means that competition's through the numbers. In the end, I actually thought the deal was slightly less than what MGM Grant wanted. So that's the other thing that I saw that was quite interesting about those numbers, is that they were originally probably wanting just on about $9 billion for US dollars for it. So it's a little bit less, but it's not surprising. And also,
that's all MGM sold for? Huh. Well, we know the bigwigs got a huge fucking severance package. And, I guess that's what they're reporting on the books.
What I'll say is this: it won't be the last. Do not underestimate that at all. There is no doubt that somebody like what's going on with Hulu, what's also going on with probably the one that everybody's watching is HBO, and how they handle their launch of their online content, because HBO coming on individually rather than probably going through a tie-up is the next one out of the states they're all alluding to, and it's just...
Personally, I prefer HBO, and especially this tactic.
Those that, as you said at the start, this content is king.
Yeah, really good point there. Just boosting up their streaming services, going ahead with those head-to-head with those giants, which means that a lot of...
I mean, HBO is already a streaming service, just like Showtime. And then there's their affiliate, and then you have Cinemax. I mean, maybe I'm blind or whatever else, but Cinemax has been kind of... I don't know what's happening to them.
People, I suppose, are just going to have to keep buying more and more of these facilities that enable...
And what's going to be happening is people are going to be able to customize their packages, and basically there's going to be a cable 2.0 with these subscription services, because monopolies are getting involved. Instead of just being able to pay-per-view, we're going to have to pay an entire subscription and only be privileged to certain content. Well, you get the basic, and there's no commercials, but you have rights to the entire library. However, if you want to watch a newer flick, you've got to go through, for every hour of movie, there's a half hour of commercials. So you're going to be paying for it.
The content, the streaming services, yeah, that's right. Now, Evan, markets, how are they reacting to Melbourne's latest outbreak?
Yeah, yesterday was a pretty good example of what is likely to come today, which is that the market reaction was that particularly travel stocks, particularly hospitality linked stocks, anything that has energy exposed to it, all suffered pretty badly yesterday, as the expectation is that sometime today there'll be an announcement that Victoria will go back into a lockdown, well, Melbourne in particular. I think it was quite telling that if you look at what happened in Qantas, if you look at what happened in Flight Centre particularly, they were the bellwether. The other one that was interesting, and one that some people don't always sort of point to, is actually Transurban. Transurban is our largest provider of toll roads, and obviously the Tullamarine Freeway here in Melbourne has been getting back to basically not only pre-COVID, but it's slightly above. So the expectation is that would fall, and they also were one to really put your finger out that they actually fell off a little bit yesterday, as that expectation that road.
And that's the main point of this video, is that Australia is in the southern Australia is in the southern hemisphere. Therefore, they're starting to go into winter. And one would think that cases would increase during the winter. However, Australia is pretty much like Texas. I mean, seriously, I love it. I mean, like, Australia is South Texas, and Texas is North Australia. You know, I love it. You know, but so we can't really, because Australia is an outlier. But what I'm thinking is that because people want things to be simmered down and everything, we got to ease the lockdowns, because people always fight more during the summer. You know, it's about to be fighting season. So that being said, it's better to let people have block parties, unlawful assemblies is what I should say, and to keep things de-escalated, to keep behavior in control, because this winter we're gonna be back on lockdowns. This government is all about the totalitarianism.
Will drop away. The majority of it.
Totalitarianism.
Income comes from New South Wales and particularly Sydney, but the Tulla is one of its largest consistent used toll roads, and that also explains that the expectation that the fall in traffic is coming, and therefore will probably start from today.
Okay, just quickly, private capital expenditure, Evan, will it match business confidence?
Yeah, well, business confidence is at record all-time highs, according to the survey from NAB. So the expectation is that their future expenditure, and therefore their future spending, should match that. The thing is, it just continues to be underperforming and a bit weak. And does another scenario, because this is for the first quarter of this year, does the fact that we did see snap lockdowns through the first quarter impact their expectations and temper that a little bit? But there is no doubt business is at a level of confidence we haven't seen before, and therefore their future spending should be on the way up. They have never had better abilities to borrow. Their credit cycle is very, very good for them at the moment, and their expectations of growth is at a very much a record all-time high according to them. So let's hope, finally, that the bottom of the cycle that we saw in 2018 is not only gone, but we are starting to head back to 2013 levels, where there was the peak of a cycle, and we replace mining with services and other areas of our future intentions.
And that's the thing, is Australia is all about friggin', they don't mind going green, but they understand how reasonable it is to still have fossil fuels. Take care, be safe, be kind, stay strong. Just get ready for a winter of lockdowns.